At the Galactic Defense Academy, where the best warriors of the galaxy trained to defend against existential threats, there was one man everyone ignored, the janitor. Always quiet, always sweeping the same halls, he was simply the human, a relic of an old war no one talked about anymore. The students, mostly alien cadets, laughed behind his back. No one knew his name. He barely spoke. Until one day, a trainee tripped and spilled his food. As the janitor helped him up, the boy's eyes widened in horror. There, peeking just beneath the janitor's collar, was a black ink tattoo, a coiled serpent with a spear through its skull. Everyone froze. That symbol, it was legend. It belonged to the disbanded Human Unit X-7, also known as the Extinction Hand. A strike team so deadly, galactic treaties had outlawed their resurrection. But one of them was right here, sweeping floors. That day, the Academy learned something terrifying. Legends don't die. They mop floors. And when the universe forgets who they are, they remember. No one paid attention to the janitor. Not the instructors, not the cadets, not the Admiralty. He was a fixture, like the walls or the vents. He moved through the academy with a slow, deliberate gait, pushing his mop across floors that sparkled moments after his touch. No one knew how long he had worked there. Some said a decade, others whispered longer. He was human, that much was obvious. And in an academy filled with diverse alien species from every corner of the galaxy, a single human should have stood out. But he didn't. He kept his eyes low, his tone neutral, and his presence quiet. To the average observer, he was nothing. Until Crix of House Tvek spilled his tray. It was during the Academy's midday meal, when cadets of all ranks bustled across the mess hall. Crix, a young noble from a powerful war clan, had been boasting loudly about his family's conquests during the siege of Zonter Prime. He laughed so hard at his own story that he knocked his tray of spiced root meat stew onto the polished floor. The human janitor appeared silently. He didn't speak, didn't scold, just knelt down and began to mop up the mess. Crix sneered, "Careful, old one. Wouldn't want to pull a muscle." The janitor didn't respond. As he leaned forward, his uniform collar dipped slightly, just enough for the tattoo on his neck to show. Crix's chuckle died. His face drained of color. It was a black serpent, jaws wide, with a broken spear through its brain. On its body were etched 7 stars, 7 kills. But it wasn't just a tattoo. It was a warning, a signature, a grave marker. Crix staggered back. You're one of them." The janitor looked up, locking eyes for the first time with the young cadet. There was no malice, just a quiet, cold acceptance. "Used to be," he said. "A long time ago." Word spread like wildfire. Cadets began pulling up restricted military files, searching forgotten databanks. There it was, Unit X-7, a human Black Ops team used during the darkest days of the Androsian conflict. They were deployed when diplomacy failed, when planets needed to disappear, when fear had to be instilled. They called them the Extinction Hand. And this janitor had been one of them. Over the next few days, the academy changed. Cadets who used to ignore him now stood up straighter when he passed. Officers nodded with respect. Some even saluted. But not all were pleased. Commander Rylos, a blue-scaled Charan and head of Academy security, summoned the janitor. "You've created quite the disruption," Rylos said, narrowing his slitted eyes. "Our trainees are frightened. They think you're some kind of assassin." "I'm not," the janitor replied simply. Rylos paced. "Why are you here? Why stay hidden for so long?" The janitor shrugged. "I like clean halls. Order. Peace. But you were a soldier. A killer." "I was a protector," he corrected. "We did the things others wouldn't. So they could sleep." Rylos leaned in. "We have a situation. A potential infiltration from the Vorn Syndicate. We've lost 3 cadets in the last month. No signs. No bodies. Just gone." The janitor didn't blink. "You want my help?" Rylos nodded. Off the record. That night, the janitor returned to the cadet quarters, his mop now embedded with a concealed scanner. He moved like a ghost. Hall after hall, he read biosigns, electromagnetic fields, and quantum residue. Near Dormitory Delta, he paused. The readings didn't match. He opened a maintenance hatch and slid inside. What he found made his blood run cold. Vorn tech. Cloaking generators, body snatchers, DNA replicators. Someone had built a covert base inside the academy. He didn't call for backup. He didn't raise alarms. He simply unplugged the generator, plunging the enemy tech into failure mode. Screeches echoed from the walls. From hidden panels, forlorn operatives emerged, disguised as cadets. One charged, energy blade outstretched. The janitor sidestepped, grabbed the pipe from his mop, and snapped the Vorn's wrist. With fluid, trained motion, he ducked, parried, and countered. Within 60 seconds, all 4 enemies were unconscious, restrained, and tagged. He called Rylos. "Come get your infiltrators." Rylos arrived in shock. "How did you?" "I clean everything. Even the lies." The Academy issued a private commendation. The janitor declined a medal. He asked for a new mop, and for his quarters to remain exactly as they were. Weeks passed. The cadets watched him with reverence now. Some approached with questions, others with notebooks. He answered one question a day, no more. One cadet, a timid Cyrelian girl, asked him, "Why did you stop fighting?" He looked out the window, toward the stars. "Because peace is a war too, just quieter." Years later, when an alien armada threatened the outer colonies, the Academy scrambled to find leaders, strategists, legends. They found him in the same hallway, mopping the same floor. They asked him to return, to lead. He looked at the stars again, then at his mop, and smiled. "Only if I can clean up after."